Okay, so a large part of making this work, and perhaps where this training will differ to other meal planning courses, is being equipped to make change, and this is all up here. So in this video I want to focus on changing the way that you think about meal planning. So first, let's think for a moment about how our brains work, seeing as they dictate what we can and can't do. So our brains really are creatures of habit, which seems really annoying, but they are designed to keep us safe and also to cope with the thousands of decisions that we have to make every day. We just don't, you don't even have to think about them, so you don't realise how many decisions your brain is making every second. So once the brain has discovered that a certain action solves a problem, it's going to start to automatically use that action to solve that problem whenever it comes up in the future. And this is how it becomes a habit. It starts to override a thought loop and just default to something that it knows works. Okay, so just to disrupt these habit cycles, we need to give our brain good reasons to do something differently. Okay, we need to convince it the previous way of doing things wasn't the right way and actually wasn't a good solution to getting what we want. And to do this, we need to really know why we're going to start with this meal planning habit. So to put it simply, there are sort of two sides of our brain involved in decision making, and we can think of them like that little devil and angel on our shoulders, like your sort of conscience, good and bad parts talking to you. So we've got this sort of devil, this animalistic or emotional part of the brain, which is all about getting what we want now. Okay, it's all about instant gratification, so this is the amygdala. And then the angel is the logical part of our front brain, which can reason out that sometimes something else is actually better for us than instant gratification. It's better for us in the long term to do something that we don't actually want to do now. And this is where your willpower lives, and this is your prefrontal cortex. So when you're thinking about what you want to do or a change that you'd like to make, it's that angelic front brain that's really saying, I want to eat healthy, I'm going to plan my meals next week, because it can see the benefit. We as logical beings can see the benefit and decide that we want to do something. But when it actually comes to making that decision in the evening and in the moment about what we want to eat, that little devil, that amygdala, is going to start reminding you that you really like pizza, you love some comfort food, you can't be bothered, it'd be much more fun to just sit on the sofa rather than cook something. You're a bit tired. Okay, and you just chuck in something from the freezer or from the oven and chill out because you deserve it. That's the sort of thing that this amygdala is going to be telling you. And I suspect you're all familiar with that sort of feeling and these sorts of thoughts that are going through your head when it comes to actually cooking dinner. So unfortunately, in the moment, that your amygdala is often stronger than your willpower or resolve. So how do we beat this? How are we really going to help our prefrontal cortex to win this fight? And that is by actually getting this metaphorical devil on our side. So by following our meal plan something that we actually really, really want. Okay, something that actually we emotionally want, not logically. Okay, and this is the difference. So this means getting real and honest with yourself, finding your emotional motivation rather than just your kind of logical or superficial one. Okay, so why do you want to plan your meals in advance? Who is this really going to help, and what is actually going to give you or allow you to do? What difference is this really going to make in your life? So it's not as simple about just saying, I want to be healthy. You need to want to be healthy because it's going to allow you to be there. Maybe you've experienced something, a loss of a family member, and it's going to help to prevent that from happening to your child. That's a much more emotional reason for wanting something rather than just, I don't want to be sick. Okay, hopefully you can see the bit of the difference there. So we went through the benefits of meal planning in the last video, but here's a quick recap. So it can help you to follow a healthier diet, to be healthier. So we say we really want to think about why we want to do this. Is it weight loss for your self-confidence? How's that really going to make you feel? Is it for a lowered risk of sickness and disease? Is there a particular reason why you're so worried about lowering this? Is there some, first say family or friend, someone that you know, a particular disease your family's likely to get? Is it just for more energy to play with your kids, just to feel like you're a better parent? It can also help as another benefit, better calorie control leading to weight loss. So this is similar to the healthy diet one. Again, why do you want to lose weight? Is it so that you can stop beating yourself up, so that you can feel confident? Get something emotional from it. You can get a more exciting meal repertoire. So your dinners are more interesting, so you can liven your life up a bit. And you can have less stress every evening trying to think what to cook, so lowering stress, you can spend less money on groceries, that might provide some sort of financial ease and less stress elsewhere. Might be able to go, save up for that holiday that you really want, or something else you want to buy yourself. Less food waste produced, possibly less guilt that you feel towards the planet. The chance to plan your meals so that you can use seasonal produce, less packaging and these sorts of things. And always having a dinner option so that you can avoid frequent takeouts. So that could be a financial or a health benefit. But these are all quite high level initially, so we need to take these all further, and we need to really ask, why is this important to us? Why is this something that I want to achieve in my life? What's it going to give you? How is it going to make you feel when you get there? If you can get clear on what the benefits of meal planning are for you and why you're doing this, you'll really find it easy to stay motivated in the moment. So a little tip, I often find that people are more deeply motivated by helping others rather than helping themselves. If you haven't yet learned to love yourself enough to prioritise your own health and happiness, then pick something that relates to the health and happiness of those that you love, those around you. We often seem more willing to make sacrifices for our children and people that we love. And this is certainly what happened for me. I could never do it before I had kids, but once I had kids, suddenly I found this inner motivation to actually stick to meal plans, to start eating vegetables, to be healthy, because I was doing it for them. The other thing about our brains is they love to be proved right. So it's been said that your brain will almost sabotage you subconsciously to prove itself right, which, even if it's not in your best interest, which is crazy, but that is effectively how it works. So if you keep telling yourself that you can't do something, you probably can't. Your brain literally might try and sabotage you subconsciously. So we need to think about these limiting and negative thoughts about meal planning, and we need to turn them around. So again, it's in the same way, if you think you can do something, your brain will be trying to prove you right. It will actually try and make it happen for you. So limiting thoughts might be things like, oh, I'll never manage to stick to it, so why even bother starting? Turn that I can't into an I can. Make that I may find it hard, but I can stick to it for 2 days a week, 1 day a week, whatever you can do. So turn that I can't into an I can. Rather than thinking, meal planning is too rigid for me and my lifestyle, it's not going to work. Okay, make that into, I can make a flexible meal plan that works for me. Rather than, meal planning is so boring. Think, well, so is trudging around the shops, trying to think, what on earth am I going to cook? What can I buy? What can I eat? Meal planning is important to achieve X, Y, Z. Okay, so we turn these around into something positive that our brains can try and prove right. Okay, it's a subtle change, and it can seem a bit silly when we're doing it, but the science says that this works, and it can really make a difference in all aspects of your life, not just when it comes to meal planning. So hopefully that's helped you to understand a little bit about your brain and how things work and how it really impacts what you can and can't do, and your willpower and your chances of success. Okay, let's move on to the task.